Range script loaded, you can now press Escape, select Choose Slot, and pick your aircraft. You have chosen to start the mission in the air. Please increase the throttle lever and use trim to level the aircraft and navigate towards waypoint B4. Maintain 0.7 to 0.8 Mach, and an altitude under 500 meters AGL. Press spacebar once you have trimmed the aircraft. For rocket attacks, the Viggen can mount up to 4 ARAC M12 rocket launcher pods, manufactured by Bofors, each containing 6 135mm rockets. They can be used against most types of ground units, ranging from soft targets to armored units or installations. The pods can be loaded with either high explosive or armor-piercing rockets. The latter have a smaller area of effect, but are more effective against armor. The Viggen's computer can employ the rockets in one of 3 modes. The pre-planned attack mode, the quick mode, which can be used against targets of opportunity, and the long-range mode, where the rockets can be fired from over twice as far. The first 2 modes, attack or quick, are very similar and have the same maximum range of 2 to 3 kilometers, but the former needs to have a target waypoint predefined for the target. It is more precise than the quick mode because it uses radar ranging, while the other employs barometric triangulation, which is less accurate. The long-range mode will inherently be less accurate than the other 2, but offers the ability to launch the rockets at up to 6 to 7 kilometers range, thereby placing the aircraft outside of shorter-range air defense assets. Press space bar to continue. For this training mission, we will use a weapons range at Mud Lake, which employs assets created by the 476th Virtual Fighter Group, plus a weapons range script developed by the user Sirabob, which will allow you to gauge your shooting accuracy. To succeed, you will have to shoot all of your rockets on a target circle enclosed within a square, located on the northern side of the range. Do not confuse it with the larger circle, pointed at by a long arrow, which is a bombing target. You will be able to choose which of the rocket's 3 employment modes you want to practice. Once selected, you can't change your choice. You will have to repeat the mission if you want to practice the remaining modes. Once you have finished your attack, you can review your accuracy statistics calling up the F10 option of the communications menu. Press space bar to begin the training. We won't be repeating the basics of the Viggen's weaponry, as those were explained back on training mission M10, on ground strafing. If you have skipped that training, you may prefer to exit the current mission to perform M10 first. Press spacebar to continue with the current training mission, or press backspace if you prefer to exit. As we said on the intro, on this mission you can learn each of the 3 rocket employments modes of the Viggen. Press spacebar to learn the normal range modes, or press backspace to employ the long range mode. On normal range, the rockets can be fired 2 to 3 kilometers away from the target, and 2 modes are provided. Pre-planned attack mode, using radar ranging, or quick mode, using triangulation to determine range to the target. Press spacebar to use the attack mode, or press backspace to use the quick mode. On quick mode, the attack is done while still on nav master mode, and there is no waypoint set at the target position. However, you do need to set a correct QFE for that point, as this will allow the computer to display the correct attack symbology on the HUD. Press spacebar to continue. Rocket Pods Preparation Checklist. 1. Weapon Selector, set to attack, to select the rockets as the active weapon. 2. Release Mode Switch. For the attack and quick rocket modes, leave this switch at norm, up. 3. Set the HUD to its lower position, to ensure visibility of the attack symbology. 4. Set HUD mode to low altitude, by setting the Slav SI switch to FRAM, off. 5. Set the altitude source selector, hide CISI, to RHM. This will ensure the radar altimeter is used as the primary altitude source, which has a more accurate reading at low altitudes. The rocket's quick mode does not require a waypoint defined at the target position, so we can't use the kneeboard's flight plan for getting the target's QFE. Instead, we will use the method described by Chuck on his guide for the Viggen. Press F10 to enter map view, place the mouse over the target and read its altitude on the status bar. It should be 5,190 feet, 1,582 meters, take note of it. In the same way, now place the mouse over our starting airbase, its Tonopah test range, even if we start on the air, and take note of its runway altitude. It should be 5,534 feet, 1,687 meters. Press F1 to return to the cockpit, then open up the briefing and look up the QFE of our starting airbase. It should be 829. 0.29 hectopascals. Now use the formula, target QFE equals the airbase QFE plus the altitude difference of both points, in meters, divided by 9.3. With our current data the calculation is 829.29 plus 1,687 minus 1,582 divided by 9.3, which gives a QFE of 840.6. Set the altimeter to that pressure. Press spacebar to continue. Good, the rocket pods are now ready to use. You have reached waypoint B4, continue towards the B5 waypoint. Fly fast and low, at 0.7 to 0.8 Mach and at less than 500 meters AGL. We are nearing the weapons range. The rocket target is the circle enclosed within a square, on the northern side of the range. Let's review the rocket delivery profile that the Viggen employs, as once the attack begins it will all happen fast. 1. Master mode. Keep it on nav position, as the rocket's quick mode does not need to use the ANF attack mode, but you do need to climb, to an altitude of at least 500 meters AGL, for a rocket delivery. The HUD will display the attack symbology once you have the target on sight and unsafe the trigger. 2. When at the top of the climb, throttle back to idle, then start a dive to acquire visually the target. Ideally the dive should be around 15 degrees nose down. 3. At the top of the climb, unsafe the trigger so the HUD can display the attack symbology. It is best if you bind a HOTAS button to this action, so that you can perform it while maneuvering the flight stick. 4. During the dive, steer the aircraft to align the reticle dot with the target. As we are not using radar ranging, no fin should be visible above the reticle dot. 5. Keep the reticle dot on the target. The distance line will flash 2 seconds before the firing point. 6. Wings will appear on the sides of the reticle dot, half a second before the firing point. This is your cue to press and hold the weapon release trigger to fire all your rockets. The red light fall blast will illuminate once all rockets have left their pods. On the real Viggen, it is not possible to do a partial firing. On DCS there is an unrealistic way to do single fire, but it has a bug that impairs its accuracy, so we will not use it. 7. Once you have performed your attack, pull up at 5G and, for realism's sake, evade left or right. Press spacebar to unpause the mission and put this procedure into practice. You are now within 10 kilometers of the target. Climb sharply to at least 500 meters AGL and then head towards the target to initiate your rocket attack profile. Begin the attack dive. Keep the dot reticle over the target. Fire all rockets once the reticle wings appear. After the attack, exit the range by heading north. Deactivate the armament with this short procedure. 1. Set trigger to safe by clicking on the stick safety cover. 2. Set master mode to nav and resume flight towards B5. Good. This completes the weapons disarm procedure. You can check your range results by calling up the communications menu. Select F10, Other, then select F1, Range. Finally, click F3, My bombing results. You have completed the main subject of this training mission. Press spacebar if you want to fly back and land at Tonopah, or press backspace to end the training now.